Parallel Frequencies with just Blane and Coco right here on Trailer Park Thursday. I love Trailer Park Thursday. What about you, Courtney? What do you got? What do you got going on over there on a Thursday? What's going down?
Whew, I've just had a week of running around. I've been doing so much. My schedule was like no room, no wiggle room, just one thing after another, running around, this and that, and appointments and this and kids and parent-teacher conferences, and I don't even know. So it's nice when I get to come and record because I can just be like, it's just a peaceful moment. I get to hang out, watch some trailers. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Before we get to the trailers, did you know that our store is now up with merch? Look at this.
Oh, I can't wait.
We've got I'm a Freak shirts.
So cute.
We've got I'm a Freak coffee mugs, hoodies, even the baseball tee. I love the baseball tee.
Love a baseball tee.
I'll put
Yeah.
the link to this to our store. We'll make sure that people out there can see this and get the link and can go get some merch from us. Who does? We got stickers coming soon. We got everything. Anything you want to print it up with I'm a Freak is coming.
It's gonna be fun for summer. We do some festivals and we can wear our I'm a Freak shirts.
I love it.
Thrilled.
I love it. But today is Trailer Park Thursday, and last week on the show we had some mental health ones in there. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
always a fan.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I said, you know what? Nothing against the women mental health podcast. Love them. There's places for that. But I said, let me go find 2 or 3 that are men focused mental health podcasts because men need to hear this stuff too. And I ran across a couple. So let's go ahead and play the first one here and see what we got.
Welcome to the High Performance Life Podcast. I'm Scott Danner, entrepreneur and life optimization specialist. I'm here to take you on a journey of imperfection and help you to start living your life as the best version of yourself. This podcast is going to take you into the minds of some of the world's top performers in business, relationships, health, and mindset, and give you a hands-on method to move you from feeling like you're merely managing your high-performance life to absolutely mastering it. So join us on the imperfect journey. Thanks for lending me your time today, and now let's start the show.
Ooh, short and sweet. I like it.
All right. Yeah. I like that. I can see that. So that's Scott Danner. And I looked into this guy and I think he had interviews with like military people, like Green Beret people, like people who really been in the shit, you know, and they're going to be talking about mental health. And those are some of the toughest SOBs out there, you know, in past times that would have been the people who would have been like, oh, there's mental health. That's no thing. We can tough it out. Nah, it's not about toughing it out. And these people will really tell you how to get in touch, how to get in tune, how to get whatever you need, whatever kind of help in any kind of way for mental health. Men need it too. And I think that's a great one. What'd you think about that trailer there?
Absolutely. I love that. I mean, he probably will relate with men because he is a man. Maybe men would be like, oh, this guy is going to, show me the way, show me how to do it. Men getting mental health support and emotional support from other men. I'm a big fan because it shouldn't just be women carrying the burden of society's mental health issues. It should be everybody working towards that goal for themselves. And I love the way he mentioned perfection a couple of times because I've talked about that till I'm blue in the face, that perfection versus excellence, when what we're striving for, perfection being usually a unrealistic expectation we hold on ourselves, and perfection not leaving room for the failures and the mistakes that get us there. And so I love that he mentioned that a couple of times because I think there's a big difference between striving for perfection and striving for excellence.
Absolutely. Let's look at that. Great words over there. We need to make that a quote right there. Did you steal that from somebody, Coco, or is that right off the top of your head?
I probably heard it from several. Most of the things in my head are from somewhere down the line.
I mean,
I couldn't give you an exact resource on that one because it's been in my own head for long
we could
time.
we could do a whole show on that and say that, you know, like I've said it before, no idea is a new idea. They all
Yeah.
came from somewhere. So let's get to our next trailer right here. I'm excited about this one.
Series. My name is Daryl Perry, and I am your host. On this podcast, you're going to hear both solo episodes and discussions talking about men's mental health, perceptions, realities, individual experiences. Now, there will be nothing here that you should take as qualified mental health or medical advice. You should always be advocating for yourself, seeking mental health and medical professionals when necessary. What we're doing here is talking about things that are much more common than many of us really even have known previously. And the goal is that for you as the listener, for either you individually or for the men in your life, to first be able to realize that there are similar experiences to yours and you're not alone. And secondly, hopefully, instead of just bringing awareness to this stuff, these conversations continue. Hopefully for you and your own wife, these conversations are happening in the way that they need to. I am always excited to talk about this stuff because I think it's so important. And what you'll find in these conversations, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of it's very heavy. But I appreciate the honesty that the folks you're about to hear from have expressed in talking about their own situations. And all of this is being done to hopefully help someone that's listening. Hopefully we're helping you. So with that being said, again, welcome to the conversation, and let's get right to it.
All right. All right. I love this. And first of all, I got to say, if you're listening to the podcast trailers and stuff like that, most of the time you hear like this wild, you know, there's music going, it's all this. And
Produced and edited and
this one
yeah.
is very raw. It is, I don't want to say, I will say it's not your typical energy for a podcast trailer, but it gets the point across. It's almost uncut, unedited, unair, you know, raw, and the way that he's talking is real life, and it's heavy. He says it later on. This is going to be heavy. So the vibe of putting all this energy and stuff out there is not going to fit what the show is doing. I love that, and it's called the Mental Health Series, I believe. Mental Health. No, I'm sorry. Mensmentalhealthseries.com is where you can go, and Daryl Perry, that's the host. It sounds like it gets heavy, and that's the kind of stuff that is real. We need to hear. Men need to hear that. Go ahead, Coco.
Yeah. Oh, it might be might be a little green as far as if it's his first time, you know, getting on a microphone and talking and things like that, and we can give a lot of grace for that because I was once upon a time putting out Practically Magic season 1 and was saying I don't know what this is going to sound like after a couple of years of me doing this. Hopefully I get better at it as we go. But I'm always thrilled with people like Daryl who want to put what they have to share out there in the world. I mean, you've said it before, everybody has a story, and get out there and helping people whatever way that you can. And I might suggest to new listeners listening to it on maybe double speed, because I think that it will kind of bring the energy out a little bit on there. But I'm just happy that they're out there making podcasts like this and starting conversations about things that people need.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, you're right. Daryl sounds a little green, but you know what? He opened up that microphone and put something out and is vulnerable. And I love that about Daryl. And this is something that the world needs. People out there need that. But like you said, yeah, put it on 2 times speed if it's a little bit slow. But you could also let that thing breathe. I'd love to hear some of the interviews and stuff he did. Let's get to our final trailer. I'm real hyped about this one. All right. And this is going to be a clip, uh, a trailer from an actual episode instead of the show overall, but we're going to listen to it. Here we go.
My grades were terrible, and I came home. And when I came home, I was really stuck because everybody was so disappointed in me by not staying at school. And I found myself bouncing from school to school. And I learned through those quote unquote failures that school wasn't necessarily for me. I never liked school. I did good in my SATs, but school wasn't for me. So I say that to say that the experience kind of guided me into my art and my poetry. At the time, I didn't realize it because I hadn't been taught to celebrate my wins. I was just acknowledging what the failure was. You know what I mean? So my question to you would just be, what advice would you have? I had talent in theater, which is what got me the scholarship. But when I failed at school, I wasn't like, yo, I'm good at theater. I was just like, damn, I did all that work and I failed. I know there's a lot of our listeners who've experienced and don't necessarily know what else to lean on because we're not conditioned to be able to celebrate our wins as well.
All right. This one right here, I can tell it's got a real place out there for people to listen to. And if you didn't catch it, the name of this is All Black Men Need Therapy. Huge. Website, abmnt.com, acronym of All Black Men Need Therapy. Michael J. Peterson, Bell, Prentice Powell. This right here, this is what I wanted to hear. This is something I'd listen to, and I'm not a black man.
Yeah.
But this you know, evidently, apparently.
We have to assume that it's still, despite the title, for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love this, and this is something out there because a lot of people, even black, white, whatever, as a man, you're taught to be tough and taught to, you know, you got to be rough, tough. You got to be all this, and in the culture here, this right here is talking to the streets, and that's a little bit different than the interview or the trailer that we just played before with Daryl Perry. He's talking to a different type of audience of men, just like these guys right here are. I love this. These guys are tough. They're standing up, but they're also saying, you know what? We can fail. We can definitely fail. I love that they really are hammering here in this episode, hammering home the fact of celebrate your wins, because we don't do that enough. Men don't do that enough, I don't think.
And I think even just taking to a point, celebrating failures too.
Yes.
Like changing the culture, the perception around failure and what that really means, because we have so much shame wrapped around failure, when in reality, no success, none. I don't care who you are. I don't know how I don't care how quickly your followers jumped up from 0 to 1,000 or 10,000. Everybody has had to fail to get to where they are in some capacity or another. It's for that success to be even earned or lasting, their failure has to be a part of it. And I grew up in like a inner city Midwestern area where I was the minority in color, ethnicity, and getting to know a little bit about like Black culture and being around, you know, when Black men were together, very rarely do you see them being vulnerable or talking about things. And I love that this breaks that mold and says, it's time for us to start doing that. It's time for that to be changed completely. Like to be able to sit around and say, man, I didn't really feel smart. And I didn't feel successful because I failed in school and I didn't get good grades. And he's just talking openly about what that felt like. What I would have seen normally and what I grew up with was there'd be a lot of teasing and razzing each other. And it would have just been the culture to be like, oh, you're dumb, man. And then this person being like, yeah, I probably am. And then whatever. And, but nobody's talking about feelings. And nobody's talking about how that actually feels to feel like, am I dumb? I'm not good in school. What do I do if I'm not good in school? where do I go next? And the way that he just opened up in that clip, and it was just one little conversation we got to hear about, but I
Yeah,
love seeing them break that mold.
they should. It should be normalized, and that's what these guys right here are doing. This talk should be normalized, not just in the Black culture, but in all cultures. And if this is the
Mm-hmm.
show to do it, like you said, sure, it's made for Black men, but like I said, I'm not a Black man, but I'd listen to this, and I'd probably get something out of it more so than I would from Daryl Perry. I did go to the website. Check this out. They got a beautiful website. This is abmnt.com.
Oh,
All their episodes, they got their About Us. They got some beautiful videos unpacking issues that affect the mental health of Black men. Now, I am all for this show right here. And look at these guys out here in the streets right here. And I'm not sure what city they're in, but they got just awesome looking episodes. You can subscribe here, check them out on social media. Book
mm-hmm.
us. You can
I'm
even
gonna
book
do
them.
that right now. I'm gonna be searching them up on my social media. I'm gonna be following them. I might even shoot them a message and be like, "Hey guys,
I'd like to
caught
talk to
your
them.
podcast clip and I loved it."
Honestly, if you get in touch with these guys, tell them we want to talk to them. I'd like to talk to at least one of these
Oh,
guys and get them
that'd be
on
amazing.
as a guest to talk more about this and be open about this. Coco, me and you work with Promise to Live. That's a suicide prevention awareness organization. This stuff is heavy. It affects
Mm-hmm.
everybody. It happens out of nowhere. Mental health is real. We are all going through something, and all you got to do a lot of times is just say, "Are you okay?" And somebody will tell you. They'll tell you if they're not okay or not. Believe me, they will.
Yeah.
They will.
And if you can read energies, that second podcast, that was something that I was going to note about seeking medical professional help and mental health. And don't forget that there are holistic and naturopathic people out there also. And I'm not saying it replaces one or the other. And there should be resources for in every realm of health and mental health that you should seek.
Yep.
Those of us who have really done the work in trauma informed energy healing and emotional healing can also be another great resource. And yeah, so I don't remember where I was going with that, but
No, I know where I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to go ahead and throw our own disclaimer in there and say that, hey, this is not professional help or opinions either. If you're listening right now, none of these podcasts seem like they were by
Mhm.
medical professionals. They're great resources, but if you actually really deeply need help, find a professional. You can look it up. You can Google it on your
Yeah.
computer. Put a safe, put the what is it? The incognito search on if you don't want it to be in there. Do whatever you gotta do, but go get the help. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of people around you wherever you're at that will help
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Usually,
and that's what I was going to say.
yeah,
If you're intuitive and you say, "Are you okay?" Most people can read a person whether they say it or not. I mean, you've met somebody where they were going through a hard time and maybe they were just not ready to open up and be vulnerable. So you say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And they're like, "Okay." And you just
yep,
know. I mean, there have been moments in my own life where I was really not okay, but when someone said, "Are you okay?" I just couldn't lie.
yeah.
I would just say, yeah, I'm all right."
And that's what we learn. But that's what we learn also is when somebody is actually suicidal, and this is some heavy talk right now, but when they are actually suicidal and you say, "Are you okay?" They'll let you know.
Mhm.
If they're right there, they're not gonna say, "I'm okay." They won't. They won't. So make sure you ask. Make sure you
Yeah.
get help if you really need it. 988 is the suicide number right now that you can call. 988, call that if you need help.
And promisetolive.org has a lot of great resources too. So go check it out
That's
and
right.
you can see how to help others
You could go
even
you can
better.
go out there right now and make the promise to live. Promisetolive.org. That's it though for this week's Trailer Park Thursday, a heavy one, but we needed to do it. We had to do that,
Yeah.
Coco. We got to get it out there
Yeah.
and make sure that men know they're taken care of too, especially mental health. Mental health, to me, that kind of pain, mental pain and all that is worse than physical pain. And we can help people. We're all gonna be there.
Yeah.
We're all gonna need help ourselves at some point. Maybe not in the same capacity, but it's better to be there and then have somebody be there for you. So make sure we do that for
Yeah.
each other, reach out, help each other. It's Parallel Frequencies with just Blane and Coco. We'll see you on the other side.
Bye.